Tom Uvaas of the Otter Boys Swimming and Diving Team is with us as the Otters are gearing up for the section meet, which comes up next Saturday in Morris, Friday and Saturday, actually. And Tom, you're coming off a really good conference meet, the Central Lakes Conference meet. Congratulations to the Otters on winning the championship outright and on being one of the three representatives of the Sportsmanship Award.
Well, thank you, Craig. It was just a really awesome meet, and our boys performed flawless, and I really mean that. And our mission was basically to control what we could control, and we couldn't control our depth, and we kind of knew what the score was going to be, and yet our boys came out and they dropped time, and some of the other teams swam a little bit slower, and the end result was a great team victory, and so well deserved because we had an undefeated season, and so obviously we really deserved to have the title outright, and we did. And the Sportsmanship Award, of course, is just a kind of a frosting on the cake or whatever, and it's something that we really value because we think that sportsmanship is just as important, if not more important, than any type of win we ever get.
And I don't know if the Otters have never had a year where they, or ever had a year where they didn't win the Sportsmanship Award.
And the boys have come in second a couple of times, but I think that, again, we don't do it just for the award, but we really try to, we just think it's important. We try to remind the kids that that who they compete against someday might be a teammate of theirs on another team, might be their neighbor, might be a colleague in work, you never know. The world gets kind of small. And so you want to use the golden rule and apply it, and leave an image of positiveness and really appreciate who you compete against and see the pluses and the minuses.
Tom, going into this conference meet, you didn't have the biggest team number-wise, and you need to have depth in a meet like that.
Well, first of all, what's different about this meet is there's 4 entries in every event. Now, when we swim a dual meet, there's 3 entries in every event. And in a dual meet, if you take first and third, you're still going to outscore the team. So our third swimmer sometimes may not score a point. But in a conference championship, we have to have at least 3 people score on that in an event, and they did that. And we had multiple events where we had 3 in the top 8, and that's how you win the meet. And we had multiple events, we had 2 in the top 8, and that's where we scored big points. And our relays were fantastic. We won the medley relay, we won the 400 free relay, but the 200 freestyle relay, which was seeded, I believe, 10th, came through and finished 3rd, got honorable mentions, and that's what you have to do. You have to drop time, you have to be right on your game plan that day. And again, I'm just so proud of this team. I'm proud of their effort, and I'm proud of how they handled themselves in a very competitive atmosphere.
You started out the meet by taking second in the 200 medley relay. That doesn't happen often.
No, and we weren't quite so surprised by that because Sartell has a phenomenal relay, and the difference in our seed times were like, I think, 3/10 of a second. So we compliment them for the race. It was a great race, and you learn a lot from a race like that. And we may make some changes in our section and state down the road, but again, the way we rebound on that, we get the 200 freestyle, and Keegan won that event. Andy Sturger had a tremendous drop of 1.5 seconds or so. And, kids saw that and said, this is pretty awesome. And then, of course, the IM, we dominated that because we have really good IMers. And the 50 freestyle, of course, Mike Hurley had a very neat race, winning by hundreds of a second against a young man from Sartell who's a phenomenal swimmer. And then things just kept on. High school sports is all about momentum. And the momentum was just there and carried us along. And I don't mind saying, I'm in my last years of coaching, and these are meets that I cherish a little bit more because I don't know how many more I'll see like that. And it was just very entertaining and very rewarding for our kids.
Can you even enjoy a race like Mike had with Cameron Hyde because it's over so fast? You can't really savor that that race.
I can because you take it and you see 12.5 markers on it, and what I loved about that race was how close it was. And even if Mike would have lost that race, that's fine. But I love a great fast race like that in closeness. And of course, Mike had an awesome finish, and that's what gave him the race.
Pretty exciting. Well, you're going to try to build on that conference championship by a good representation at the sections. And as you look at the section competition this week, obviously there are two things that you're looking at here: the team competition, where you finish there, but more importantly, this is for the individuals, right, and the advancement to state.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. And the CLC lineup was basically set up to win that for the team title. And we put Mike in the 1500 freestyle. The section is totally about state. If we can win sections as a team, we'll be very happy. But if we don't, that's okay, because we're trying to figure out how many events can we qualify for state and hopefully do very well at the state meet. The only way you go to state is by what you do on Saturday of that particular meet. It's a high-stakes meet. Either you have to be top 4 to qualify or make a state cut time. And so it's a big meet. You know, Hutch is there, Montevideo, and it's all the way from Beaver Falls all the way down to Hutchinson. It includes Wilmer in there, Sauk Rapids, I'm not Sauk Rapids, Sauk Center, Melrose. It's that whole belt line right there. And it should be a very, very fast meet.
Do the Otters have an excellent opportunity at qualifying close to a record number of swimmers this year?
I think we do. We stacked our relays. Our medley relay and 4 and free relay are state driven already. We took Jake Fisher on an individual event. We put him in the 200 freestyle relay. So we have the components of possibly having a pretty good 200 freestyle relay to get down there. We know we're going to have to be. We have to have a phenomenal time in that, and we're going to have to take some risk in that one to get there because we want that really at state. Because at state, we're hoping that we can get 3 relays to score, and if our 200 freestyle relay could at least get like top 12, we'd be happy with that. Maybe even top 8 would be amazing, but it might happen too. But again, we're kind of looking at 2 things. We're looking at the section lineup. We're not trying to take the section meet for granted. We never do that. We always wanted to use that as our vehicle to get to state, but at the same time, we're trying to plan to see what we might be able to do at the state meet.
How about the tapers for these kids? Are most of them being tapered like they're getting to state, or how do you work that? That's kind of a tricky thing, isn't it?
It's very tricky this year, because we have some kids who are already made state cut times, and so now you have to margin the tape a little bit different. We've had a very good week of practice. We basically are using recipes of what we used last year. We had a very good taper last year, and the kids really believe in it. The key thing is that you have to really attend to the individual and their performance and training. That is so critical. So what might be good for someone, maybe doing like 5 of something, for the other person, they should only do 3. And we really have to lean on the maturity as a trainer and really train smart. And this is where, so we may have someone, let's say we do 5 100s, for example. We may have an individual say, I'm just going to do 3. That's perfectly fine. Because for their body, that might work for them. And so there's lots of ownership here in the individual athlete. And as the coaches, we have to listen very carefully to how they feel body-wise. I just talked to them this week about how important it is to take care of their diet, take care of the small things that make a big difference later on.
You have Mike Hurley in the 200 IM and in the 100 free. How difficult was it to make the decision on his events, or was that kind of a given that those would be the events?
Well, we knew the IM for sure because Mike has been in that for 4 years now, or 5 or 6, or 12, But he's been in that forever. He loves that event. He holds the record in it for us, so it'll be just a nice event for him. Last year he swam the 100 backstroke, and this year's going to go 100 free. His freestyle looks very good. I think he's going to have a very nice race in that. So it should be a nice opportunity for him for his last state meet.
What about the rest of your lineup? Anything that you've done maybe that would be a little different than what we have seen?
Well, we moved Eric Money from the 100 freestyle. He swam that all season for us. We really needed him for that. He did that for the team. We needed to have a second 100 freestyler in our dual meets. And we actually swam the 100 freestyle at conference for us because, again, we needed him. And we moved him into the IM. And his 200 IM will be much better. And then he's also breaststroke. He looks great. He won the conference title in the 100-yard breaststroke, and it looks just great. And then Jake Fisher, we took Jake out of the 100 backstroke and put him in the 100 freestyle, and that's an event he really wanted to do. So he's all smiles because now he's in 3 relays in the 100 freestyle. Keegan Hurley was taken out of the 500, put him in the fly, and we put him in the 200 freestyle. So we try to line up people where they'd have their most success, and we're pretty comfortable with it. Joe Kitchman is a boy that could swim anything and do well, and hats off to Joe Kitchman, a very mature young man. He's going to swim the 100 fly for us in the 500 free, and he's swimming the 500 free for the team. We probably, a third of that might be the 100 backstroke, but he was kind enough to do that. It gives us a little more points there because we have 2 backstrokers with Zach House in there. And a strong event, our breaststroke. Breaststroke, we got 3 very good swimmers in that, and I think that'll be fun to watch. We're very strong in the IM, and we're very strong in the fly. The fly, we're just unbelievable. We are so deep in the 100 fly right now that we could actually run 2 400 fly relays on this team and do very well. We have 8 flyers that qualified for section, and I mean they're very good flyers, and we're deep there.
Is there any event where the Otters are not capable of getting someone to state, Tom, or is it possible to get somebody and everything?
We're so pleased with diving, and Michael Austin is still phenomenal at COC. But now we have kind of an issue where Kyle Rust is out. He got an injury in practice with his eardrum. You don't mess with that.
Yep.
There's a remote possibility maybe we'll die. But we're probably right now there's a 50-50 or 30-70 they won't be diving. That does hurt us a little bit in the diving part of it. Otherwise, though, I think we can qualify and almost I think we can. Maybe the 53 will be kind of a little hard for us, but the fly, 100, also 500, maybe backstroke will be kind of hard for us too. So, but we'll be in there in the hunt pretty well. And again, we have a small team. We're only taking 18 kids to this meet, of which 12 are swimmers. We have 12 swimmers, and we have only 14 swimmers and 4 divers. I know that. So let's see, we have a little time. No, that's right, 16 total. We have 12 swimmers and 4 divers.
Wow.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, that is.
So a whole team of 16 going, and yet we have a chance to possibly win the section title and have a chance to see what we could do at state.
Outstanding. Give us the rundown on the schedule of events.
Well, I think that, and I'm going to check, but I'm pretty sure it starts Friday night at 5 o'clock for prelims. It's going to be at Morris. We have a phenomenal facility there, so I just can't say enough. If you've never seen their swimming facility, it's probably one of the nicest swimming facilities you're going to see in the state of Minnesota. They have a separate diving well, which is nice for cooling down. So 5 o'clock is preliminaries. Then Saturday, the diving prelims will start at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the swimming finals and diving finals will be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. So it should be really fun.
Well, best of luck to the Otters. Again, congratulations on a great season so far in that Central Lakes Conference Championship, and we will look forward to hearing your reports on how that prelim swim goes, and then on how many Otters are going to get to that ultimate state tournament.
Thank you so much, Craig.
Great job again.
Bye-bye.
Tom Uvaas of the Otter Boys Swimming and Diving Team, guesting on our Talk Sports program and the Super Sports Saturday, and we'll be back with more right after this.